All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Appreciate you guys tuning in. So we just got a little bit more information on LBJ. So we're going to kind of just do this more as a quick reaction to LeBron James being out indefinitely. Finished the post-game show, and then I do, on YouTube, we did another show on there. So got with the station here real quick, and we'll kind of expand a little bit on this LeBron injury. So Lakers lost to the Hawks 99-94. That's obviously a complete side story. Adrian Wojnarowski, of course, ESPN, put out a tweet within the last 20 minutes or so. High ankle sprain for LeBron James out indefinitely, sources tell ESPN. Mike Trudell, injury update. LeBron James has a high right ankle sprain. He'll be out indefinitely. So now you're, obviously starting to get a little bit more information on LBJ. And, the information that we're hearing is obviously it's not good news. I mean, here's the reality. The reality is the word indefinitely. That's not a word you typically want to hear, obviously when it comes to a timeline of when a player is going to come back or whatever the case is. And a lot of it also could just be that there's not enough information there. And how is LeBron? How will he adapt or recover to the ankle injury? So a lot of unknown. Woj put out a tweet after that as well. Ahead of Thursday's trade deadline, the Lakers are faced with an extended period of time without LBJ and without Anthony Davis. So that's where we are, Laker fans. Got to be honest with you. Just a couple nights ago, we were talking about how the Lakers were 4-0 since the All-Star break, just starting to feel like they were getting into a rhythm of adjusting with life without Anthony Davis, who, by the way, is going to get reevaluated this upcoming Friday. That would be 2 weeks, and then we'll see if we get an update. That's at least what Coach said a little bit over a week ago. And to kind of see in a Saturday afternoon a game against the Atlanta Hawks, a play that obviously has no significance. It's just one play. It's not a big deal, second quarter. And to have LBJ get hurt on a play like that, that's a tough one to swallow, definitely. And really what I'm referring to, from a Laker perspective and a Laker fan perspective, of course, you want as much success as you want for the Lakers. But just let's key in on LeBron for a second. 36 years old, having as good of a season as anybody in the NBA, the front runner for MVP, leading the Lakers to second place in the Western Conference. Even Anthony Davis goes down with an injury. Lakers keep kind of finding ways to win, getting off to a great start second half of the season. And to see this now, this got to be a tough one for LBJ. Personally, it's different now, games at Staples Center. You could hear a lot more, but to hear him when he went down with the injury, and then you kind of just watched him and it's like, wait, LBJ's coming back. He's going to stay in the game. And obviously, we know what happened after that. He hit a three and then came out of the game. Watching the replay right now, Spectrum has played it a number of different times, and we've got the chance, obviously, on Twitter to see it. Couple things I'm going to hit on. So just to kind of to put a cap on the actual injury, out indefinitely. We don't know how long that's going to be. We know it's a high ankle sprain. And, of course, the effects that has on the Lakers, I don't need to tell anybody the effects that has on the Lakers. I thought this was interesting. In the postgame show, Montrezl Harrell first and Dennis Schroeder as well talked about how they thought that play was careless. It was reckless. So much so that you got Solomon Hill. Solomon Hill, obviously part of the Atlanta Hawks, put out a tweet said, would never disrespect the game and take a player out purposely. He knows that. That's all that matters to me, praying for a speedy recovery. When I saw it, I didn't think much of it. I did not think, that's not the first thing that went to my mind was, wow, that's a dirty play right there. We've seen dirty plays before, so I kind of hesitate for a second. But I was a little surprised, actually, Montrez and Dennis Schroeder were instantly of, why are you diving for a loose ball, trying to get through his leg? I mean, it made more sense why they could use the word like reckless or careless, but I don't think there was anything intentional. I really don't. I'm not one to try to say that I thought with Solomon Hill was, he's going out to try to hurt some. No, I didn't see it. You guys can obviously have your own comments here. The other thing that I was going to say, so just kind of looking at the Lakers, I thought Woj's tweet about here comes the trade deadline, less than a week. It's this Thursday is the trade deadline. You don't know when you're getting Anthony Davis back. LeBron James is out indefinitely. A lot of question marks around the Lakers right now. I would say if there's good news for the Lakers, the good news I would say is postseason doesn't start for 62 days. It doesn't start till May 22nd. We're on March 20th right now. So you know that there's obviously some time before the playoffs even start. If I looked at it from an optimistic perspective, I would say Lakers got Montrezl Harrell, Dennis Schroeder, THT, Kyle Kuzma, Alex Caruso, KCP hopefully can, be a little bit more consistent. They got players that will battle, but I would not be able to sit here and tell you confidently, they'll be fine in the NBA standings. You know what? They'll play 500 ball. How can you guarantee that? I mean, just without Anthony Davis, every game was an obstacle. Even though they were starting to play better basketball. Now take LeBron James out of the mix. I mean, let me actually look at this real quick because I think this is interesting. If you look at the NBA standings right now, I'm just going to show you how close actually Lakers are to some of the teams behind them. So in the Western Conference, Lakers have 14 losses. There are 4 teams with 16 losses. So it just kind of shows you don't have to lose many games in a row and be in the thick of where the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Blazers, and the San Antonio Spurs are, and that's 4 through 7. So it just gives you an idea from a standings perspective. I got faith that the Lakers will fight. I got faith that Coach will get these guys prepared. But this league comes down to talent. And when you're 2 superstars, doesn't get any bigger than, obviously LeBron James and Anthony Davis, when you don't have an idea what the timetable is or when they're coming back, that should get you a little bit concerned. That should have you a little bit worried. Let me read off a couple of these comments here because I know we got some people that want to chime in. Literally just finished my YouTube show. I finished it. I loaded it up, and then I get a call from the station saying, "Hey, can we go live on social?" I'm like, "Sounds good." Just finished that one. But that's how much of a moving target this has been, with LBJ since his injury, since he went down, earlier in the afternoon in the second quarter. It's like everybody's just waiting. Can we get more information? Can we get more information? And then that info came out from Woj. The Lakers put something out. And then, like I mentioned, Shams Charania also had something as well. So Ronnie Lou says THT time. I hope so. All these players do so well. A lot of the reason is it's a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's so much attention on LeBron, right? And there's such a free flow to the game when LBJ is in there. So even guys like Taylor Horton Tucker now become a focal point, or Kuzma becomes a focal point. They're not built to be focal points. They're built to be guys that can come off the bench and, contribute as best as they can. Alex Trin says, "Take my ankle, LBJ." I think there's plenty of Laker fans that are willing to give up their ankle. Luis Pascal, Kuzma got to step up. I'll tell you guys, even if all these players step up and they play good basketball, it's such a challenge to win games in the Western Conference. If there's maybe one thing you could look at and say, all right, maybe there's some positives here. Phoenix, a tough game tomorrow. Phoenix going to completely try to take advantage of the Lakers. Pelicans will actually be a tough game as well. Philly's missing Embiid. You got Cleveland, Orlando after that, then Milwaukee, Sacramento after that. Then it starts getting tough. Then you're going to start playing some good teams. So kind of being blind here of trying to look at the standings and say, well, maybe we can keep our heads above water. It's going to be a challenge. I know this is one angle that some Laker fans have taken. One angle is maybe you can rest LeBron James, not rest, but as in he'll take some time off. He'll be fresh for the playoffs. And you could say that about Anthony Davis as well. I get that part. And I'm with you that if both of those players are obviously healthy, good to go, ready to go, then yes, I do feel like the Lakers can beat anybody. Okay, looks like we got LBJ just putting out a tweet a couple of minutes ago. Nothing angers and saddens me more than not being available to and for my teammates. I'm hurt inside and out right now. The road back from recovery begins now. Back soon like I never left. Kid from Akron. Oof. LBJ. I'm hurt inside and out right now. Does that not hurt every sports fan who just cheers on greatness on a night in, night out basis? And LeBron has been, obviously everything for not just the Lakers. He was everything for the Cavs. He was everything for the Heat. 18 years in the NBA. He's been, he'll go down as wherever you want to put him. Michael always says this, and Michael Thompson always says this. Wherever you want to put him. You want to put him, whatever your top 4 list looks like, you rank him however you want. But he's in that top 4. It's like, we only get this greatness. You just never know when this greatness will start a decline, or that we'll look back and we'll say, remember when LeBron was this good? We're not there yet because he's still doing that at age 36. But when he said, how much he wants to be there for his team, how much it hurts. But I like this part. The road back from recovery begins now. Back soon like I never left. Maybe LeBron knows something that we don't know. So, we can only wish him, obviously a speedy recovery, and let's see what happens from there. So just want to do this quick video, and, the thought process here was just to react real quick. Let me read off actually a couple more comments here before. Justin, does Alan read the comments on the show or no? Yes, Justin, Alan does read the comments on the show. Let's keep going here. All right, Marcus Gutierrez. What do you think, Sliwa? You think this forces us to a trade? It's a good question. I don't know if it forces the Lakers to do anything. I mean, I don't know if you wanted a rim protector before, you wanted a guy like Andre Drummond, you still want a player like that to come in the buyout market. It's not like I think if the question you're asking is, do they now have to go make a trade to make sure that they can stay in the playoff picture, a decent seed by the time the playoffs come, or by the time LeBron and Anthony Davis come back? I don't know how much that changes the scope of things, to be honest with you. Mario Rovira says Lakers could drop to an 8 seed. All right, 8 seed right now is 19 losses. Lakers have 14 losses. We're going to stay in the mix. Don't worry, Laker fans. We're going to stay in the mix. We'll squeak out a couple games. By the way, you could be top 10 and still get in this year. You're going to go in that play-in tournament. So we'll be fine. We'll get to the playoffs. We'll be fine. All right, let me read off a couple more here real quick before we all go enjoy our Saturday. All right, I missed it. A lot of Laker fans were trying to give me the heads up that he tweeted. Blue Diamond Gem, I'm telling you, it's perfect timing. He will be back. Let's see what else we got here. On Facebook, Outminded Music. This could be good for LA. Gives the whole team time to build and get playing time, and also shows us who to trade. For those who have some concern about Lakers making the playoffs, going to make the playoffs. Lakers will make the playoffs. It's just a question of when these guys come back. And by the way, you don't even know. Maybe what if AD's back in the next couple of weeks or anything along those lines? Okay, so quick little summary, and then we're going to call it a day. Word came out that LeBron James, high ankle sprain. He's out indefinitely. Not crazy about that word indefinitely because it's, we all want answers and doesn't really give that many answers. But I think that probably means that the team has no idea how long he's going to be out for. We know LeBron's pain threshold is like nobody else, but you got to think big picture here. Obviously, you don't want him coming back too soon, and then he's re-injures the ankle, whatever the case is. So out indefinitely means we have no idea when he'll be back. And then LeBron tweeted out, LeBron sent out a tweet saying, Nothing angers and saddens me more than not being available to and for my teammates. I'm hurt inside and out right now. The road back from recovery begins now. Back soon like I never left. Lakers, Phoenix tomorrow. Phoenix and the rest of the West, I'm sure, will try to take complete advantage of the injuries that the Lakers have. And that's just the world of sports. Injuries happen, and unfortunately, it can determine winning a championship and not. But again, 62 days away from the playoffs even starting. If you're going to have some injuries, at least you're having them in February and March. You're not having them in May and June. So that's the latest on that front. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Back tomorrow, Lakers pregame show, 5:30, myself and MT. And let's hope, we only get some positive news as things progress here. But Lakers back against the Suns tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good rest of your Saturday night.